lavish islands, hard negotiations, and lessons yet unlearned. This is Gluttony and Earth. Hello and welcome to the IDL. My name is Nick, and this is Gluttony and Earth. With me, as always, we have our big, brave, punch-em-up machine, Kyle.
You call me, I punch him.
It's gonna be a good ad. I'll let you borrow this audio for your first commercial appearance. Speaking of commercial appearances, you know them, you got them stuck in your head like three jingles at once. Apply directly to the forehead, it is Adam.
Oh man. I didn't know we were gonna go in a jingle direction. I don't have a jingle.
This one doesn't jingle, it folds. It is BakaZombie.
Jingle jangle, baby, here I am, ready for some podding.
Some what?
Podding. We podding out here.
Oh, potty. Oh, okay. Like podcasting. Okay.
Yeah. Come on, now.
I didn't know what word you were saying. I thought you were like saying pardon with an accent.
Haven't you seen my commercials?
Apparently not. Oh my god. I'm a wreck. I don't know what's wrong with me that my body just wants itself to die during most times of the year. I'm like hyped up. I'm like having to my brain's out of it. I've got my Morbius cup. I'm just sipping some lukewarm water, trying to just hydrate and not pass out.
I have that cup too.
Yeah, it's Morbin time.
It's fucking Morbin time.
That's what the memers say.
That's what they say. I didn't see Morbius, but when we went to see Doctor Strange, I said, I've got to get a Morbius cup. I will pay extra money for a Morbius cup. That's a piece of our culture.
I think there's, to me, nothing more disappointing than going to a show and then getting a cup for a different movie that I don't want to see.
I think it's disappointing when I go to a theater and they don't have any novelty cups.
That's fair.
I want a cup I'm never going to use again.
when I went to the I use Morbin for water. You gotta fill them up with the water.
I use it when I run out of other big cups, when I have soda from a big bottle for dinner. Because I got big glass mugs that I use usually, and then I have Pepsi, like old-timey Pepsi mugs that have the syrup line on them. And then I'll use my Batman/Morbius big cups.
Batman/Morbius big cups. All right.
I used to have a Deadpool one too.
I used to have
banter. Were you
about
to go on to the podcast?
No. This
is the bands for the episode, y'all.
I used to have a collection of fancy cups from movie theaters. But
fancy cups from movie theaters. Novelty cups.
I was trying to collect a lot, but then I went with a girlfriend to a movie, and she threw away the cup.
What? Did you dump her right there?
No, we did break up eventually. But I stopped collecting at that point because I missed one. I was like, that's it, that's done.
When you broke up, kind of annoyed. Said, this is because of the cup thing, by the
way. I'm gonna end this my cup collection.
Similarly, but not really. I collect novelty cups from zoos I go to. But then I had a roommate who would put them in the washing machine and melt them. So I lost like 2 or 3 of them from zoos that aren't close to me. So
there are too many stupid people who don't know how to wash dishes correctly.
He would put them in the washing machine, melt them, and then there'd still be a bunch of stuff stuck to them because he'd put these disgusting smoothies in them. All of our coffee mugs had coffee stains in them constantly.
I've had two glasses that were like, I had one coffee mug that had to be hand washed because of like the temperature. Like there's like stuff on the end of it that changes when it's hotter. And then I had like a collectible Bacardi's mug that I got from an Applebee's. It's like a nice fancy glass mug, and they put them in the dishwasher, and the stuff faded off the Bacardi, so it just looks like really old and not taken care of, and the heat stuff just completely started melting off. So now it's like a melted Game Boy on the front now. I was so mad. I had to yell at him. Yeah, that was the Bants, by the
way. No better than the Down by the Bay Bants.
No, it's... God.
I almost had to stop the Bants myself during that episode.
I could tell you were annoyed, but I was more annoyed that Raffi exists. So last time, besides whatever Bants we did last time, you guys, we picked up with Endien still in the Indigo domain, having realized what's going on, had a freaky encounter with herself, realized there's no one else around. She starts heading back to the circuit. God damn it, I just saw you guys look at me. She
had a freak encounter with herself. What do you want?
Endien touched herself and felt bark.
You gotta explore your body, you know?
On the way back, you had this troll come at you, and that's where we picked up. You're like, shit, what's going on? I'm gonna shoot first, kill this troll. You shoot the troll, shatters into glass. You realize something's really, really fucky. You get back to the circus. You see Darius picked up and like given the 1-2 to a tiny clown. The tiny clown tells you to go back in the mirror also. Darius is like, what the fuck is going on? Endien gets back. You meet up with your friends in the regular world. You spend a while like talking to each other, talking to the real clown, trying to figure out what the heck just happened, what the implications were. Darius realizes he has 2 little guys with him now. Doesn't know exactly what's the deal with that. Then you guys kind of from there split your own ways to figure out what you're doing. Endien has been a little bit more mentally rocky since this encounter. When she was heading back through the mirror maze, she had an encounter once again with the mirrors, bringing her back in the moment of time where the troll first attacked the unicorn. And she tried to deal with it. She shot an arrow. She broke all the mirrors, and she dashed out. She eventually learned what she sought out to learn from Mildatha and retrained one of her feats. Darius set aside the little guy, but woke up in the middle of the night to see it floating above him. He eventually pops out the pearl, writes a note, sets it next to the mirror, signed Bernice's love. The next morning, he wakes up, the note and the little guy are gone. He then sets out to build some serpent scale armor using Chaco for Endien, and Thellum punches a lot of trees. And then you guys said, hey, I think this is it. We'll head out, we'll get on our way, let's hit up the train, and you take the train down to the southeastern coast. So this guy, Gillivan Dubois, the one who's wanting you guys to do this, he did ask that you guys use some discretionary, or be discretionary, be a little low key on your trip there. So I don't know, would you guys disguise yourself any, or are you just kind of heading out as you are? I know Darius and Thellum probably look the most out of place, or the most, not out of place, peasant.
Just a couple poor boys, don't mind them.
Working class. And so I know you guys probably wouldn't stick out too much without acting out, I guess that is.
No, just don't act out.
What about Endien?
So because they got like a little not a booth. What are they called in trains when you have a door?
Yeah, I keep thinking Cabin. Yes.
Cabin, yeah. So they got a cabin. So when she would get on the train or whenever she's like out amongst other people, she doesn't change her appearance too much, but she does change it. She uses disguise self, and the rest, like her skin gets a little bit more of a color to it, and the scarring is gone, and so her face is symmetrical, quote unquote, not symmetrical because that's impossible. But she doesn't have scarring anymore on both sides. On one side of her face, she looks more as she would before she met Darius and Thellum. She also has brought with her a weapon that she usually doesn't carry with her. It's this long sword with a jeweled hilt on it that she carries on her back. But during the disguise self, she would make that look more plain as well. Just so it's not like, hey, look, this lady with a fancy sword on her back.
Okay, yeah. So you guys get through this train ride, and you had gotten basically into the port town, and you found a smaller ship. It's not like a small ship. It's not like a keelboat or something like that. It is a sailing ship, but it's just smaller than you'd probably think of for a sailing ship. And you meet up with a lady with dark green clothing and dark red hair. Her name was Captain Sophie Gautier. And yeah, if you guys, approach her, she recognizes. You probably have something you can say to her to like let you know who you are. You guys can get on her ship for passage to the island.
I would just, as we're getting ready, to the captain or whatever crew is the most accessible. I don't know what type of captain this person is, but just ask. I know it's monsoon season, and there's issues with some raiders. Are we expecting any trouble on this boat ride out to the islands?
You can talk to the captain. It's the captain and about 16 crewmen, and you can talk to the captain. She's there. Actually, I'm here specifically to pick you three up, and we're using this smaller ship of mine to make sure that we're not a target. Typically, what we've noticed is they're going after all of the mercantile ships that they have, all the trading ships, because they know that's where they're going to be able to find gold and resources. But on this smaller ship, they're probably not they're not viewing us as a target. So it's a little bit easier for us to navigate there. As for the monsoon, don't worry, I am an expert on the seas.
I guess part of the question then, hearing that information, is, are they running out of mercantile ships to raid? Are they starting to get more desperate? Has this situation advanced?
As of right now, they still have targets they go after. It's not monsoon. It's with the wet seasons are rough, but the Dubois family has a long-standing tradition with sailing and trading by sea, and as such, all of the ships that we employ are capable of dealing with these harsher seasons. That is how they are able to maintain their reputation in a world that is full of airships.
All right. Looking at the ship itself, are we flying any sort of like emblems or anything like that, like flags, or is it we're just a boat, don't pay attention to us?
Yeah, it's more along that line. They want to keep this as discreet as possible with the ship.
I think Darius also notes that, just being like, okay, we're not flying any colors. We are very low key. Okay.
It's going to take 3 days of sailing. You'll notice as you guys are getting into the worst storms, you're slowed down a bit, but they seem like they know what they're doing. They have a pretty good hold on how to get through all this. Do you have any other things you would want to do before you guys get to the island, or with your boat time?
I think Darius would, especially because presumably now Endien isn't disguising the sword as like the sword in her appearance as much now that we're kind of on a self-contained boat.
She isn't disguising the sword, but still for 6 hours a day she is disguising her face. Because that's as many spell slots as she has to do that.
That part of it is beyond Darius's ability to deal with right now. But sometime during it, Darius would ask Endien, is that part of your training with what? I mean, why? I don't think Darius knows you were training. Why are you why you got a sword now?
I've had the sword for quite a while. I just don't carry it often. This was something I picked up during my librarian license training, and I used it to earn my license. I don't know much about it, though, as far as its history. When we have time, when we're back in New Veneer, would you be able to look into it to see where it came from?
Certainly. I mean, I can take a look at it now to see if I recognize any major markings on it. No promises, but yeah, certainly.
Yeah, she pulls out what she's been calling the King's Sword because she doesn't know much about it, and she found it in her castle and hands it over to Darius to look at.
Yeah, like you said, it's got a jeweled bottom to the hilt. As it goes up, looking at it, looks probably hundreds of years old. You'd guess. This thing. Her saying she found it in a castle. She's been calling it the King's Sword. You could guess that the jewel possibly is a conduit of magic. Clearly, it was like it might have been like a sword used as like the king, like an inherited sword for monarchs in whatever kingdom.
I would do a identify on it. From what I understand, Endien assumes it's magical, and just as part of this, Darius would seeing, especially like noticing that the gem could be magical or was like possibly ceremonial in use, just to make sure what's going on with it.
Okay, you identify it as you're going over the sword and you're going over this gem. You realize that it indeed is a sword that is like an inheritance. Maybe not like a biological inheritance, but like the inheritance of the king's will in a way. Like that idea of the like it's a sword for a ruler. You realize that to use it, you have to be of royalty, and you have to be worthy from the sword's perspective. The sword itself, other properties. So if you're of royalty and the sword thinks you're worthy of wielding it, you don't think it's sentient, but you think it's more, that's the only way you're allowed to attune to it. So the things that'll happen when you are able to attune to it, you would be able to basically throw your voice up to like 300 feet. So like almost like an announcement. You think that it would have more magical power to it, gaining +1 to its attack and defense, or attack and damage. You think it looks like it would have better crits. You think that it might instill more confidence in a person, giving them persuasion advantage. and you think the gem itself, as a structure of the sword, is able to store spells in it, getting a spell storing quality. A lot of really powerful things for whomever this king was. However, it really comes down to the sword deciding you're worthy of wielding it.
Andy, have you ever been able to attune yourself to this sword?
How well do you know if you attune yourself to something or not in this place we live?
I think it's something you would be able to feel. If you're like getting a little bit of symbiosis with its magic, you're feeling the magic pulse. Now it's like having when you are using a sword and like your sword is like an extension of your limb. Mm-hmm. I feel like that your magical essence with that sword kind of flows back and forth, and you get that resonance.
In that case, do I feel that with the sword?
No.
Okay. Because I know when I used it before, it had a +1 quality to it still, so I didn't know if...
Yeah, it has a +1. Yeah, that's attunement? Outside of it.
Okay.
Okay.
No, it doesn't have that same feel that some of my other items do, but it got me out of a desperate situation with a weapon I wasn't trained to use. I'm trained in elven short swords, but...
Yeah, it's certainly interesting. So it's there's two. So it's a magic sword to start with that gives you a little extra bang for your buck, so to speak. But I find it interesting. So based off of what I've learned from it, you have to be of royalty, which is a check mark for you already. But then there's kind of a nebulous worthiness deemed by the sword who is not sentient. So it may be something related to the kingdom this sword came from previously, the line of rulers it served, as to what tenets you need to hold in yourself to be worthy. I don't know. It's just there's something else that the sword knows that lets you get some extra benefits out of it. That's why I was curious if you'd had attuned yourself to it yet, or at any point.
Oh, you're saying it doesn't deem me worthy. And from underneath the disguise, you just hear the crack of the wood as she frowns.
You don't... It also, technically, yes. But also, I don't know what the sword considers worthy. I don't know what tenets it holds that you are not meeting. You could need to be a real asshole to wield this sword. It could be from a bad line of kings and rulers.
That could be true.
It's just worthy of what it deems necessary, not what us as society as a whole have deemed our good qualities.
Well, thank you for looking into it.
Yes. Keep an eye on it. Check in with it every now and then. Maybe you're worthy at some other point. But yeah, when we get back to the city, I'll certainly look more into it, see if we can't figure out where it came from.
We'll resheath that on her back.
Speaking of things, Thellum.
It's not in the room.
I track down Thellum.
He's wakeboarding behind the boat.
He's outside. Is it storming?
Yes.
He's ignoring the raid. He loves the raid.
Fair. Thellum.
Huh?
Yes. I have a question for you. That pearl you gave me, you said you got that from your home as well?
Yeah, kind of. It was always with me.
It's not just a pearl. It's a magical pearl that
What to do?
so it will allow you to refresh your magical capabilities throughout once a day. I know you're just getting into the magics, but I wanted to make sure you were aware of what it was, that it's more than just a regular pearl, if you would like to use it for yourself.
I mean, I feel like it would be more useful with you, right? You need pearls, right?
It's not. This is more than a regular pearl. This pearl wouldn't work for what I need pearls for.
But it might make your little guys magical.
I don't know what I would do if I put it in my little guy. This is
little. He does a Eldritch Blast.
That's not how my stuff works. A lot of mine is making the mundane magical, not necessarily enhancing what's already magical. At least so far. I'm working on some things.
Well, I don't think it'll be much use with me. The only thing I can do is he does another Eldritch Blast.
So, are you sure that's the only thing you can do?
Yeah, he does. Another.
See, have you tried doing anything else? I mean, it's unlikely you can do just that.
Well, I could always do this. He uses Blade Ward.
That's interesting.
But that's about it.
How much has Thellum shared about his conversation with the genie, that he's getting powers from the genie? Have you shared any of that information? I'm just asking, so I say the right things in character.
Yeah. Honestly, besides the deals he's been making, no. He would have told you guys that he's getting power from the genie, magical power.
So, I would suggest this is do a little bit of self-exploration to see what else the genie may have gifted to you.
But how would I explore myself? I would need to learn what Goon was doing.
See, what you're doing and what Gunu was doing are two different things. What I do and what you do are two still more different things. And what all of us do and what Endien does is a fourth different thing. I don't know how you're getting magic from the genie. I mean, it's a magical creature, so, they can do things. My magic comes from me, and I spent a long time figuring out how it worked and building up to it and making little bits and bobs that eventually started to do something.
Huh. Okay. You mind holding this for me? He goes inside the ring.
Actually, Adam, can I get a dexterity saving throw?
Darius isn't terrible at them. Great thing to do on the deck of a ship during natural 20.
Oh, you got it. You're able to get it before it gets washed away.
Darius grabs the ring is immediately going to put it in his bag of holding, and I'm running inside of one of the cabins.
Okay. Let's see. Thellum, you appear once again in the big white room with the big blue man.
Hey, big guy. My friend says I can learn some things from you. You mind teaching me some stuff? Please?
Thellum. Young Thellum.
Not the young.
I cannot do everything for you all of the time. You are more than a worthless flopping fish, Thellum.
But
Just feel it from inside of you and channel my powers through yours.
could you give me an example of what I could do?
You'll know it when you feel the need.
Oh, okay. By the way, what do you do in here?
What's your deal, bro?
Do you just sit in here?
Young Thellum, I have a long history of waiting.
Do you want me to? Here. He goes to his bag. Here's a little friend. It's the bee that he knit for the egg.
Oh, okay.
I assume you get lonely.
I have spent a long, long time around people I wanted nothing to do with. I cherish the silence.
So you don't want me here?
Thellum, so long as you keep growing from a big fish in a little pond to something better, then you are welcome.
Wait, am I part fish? Wait, you said that like twice now. And I like the rain. Am I part fish?
Unfortunately, it might seem as though you are.
Savage. Everyone getting burned.
But I can't breathe underwater.
I'm well aware, young Thellum.
I'll figure it out. He tries to get out the ring. Can he?
Yeah, he can get out of the ring. He's fine.
Okay.
Oh well, it depends. What Darius? What do you go into? You went to a cabin.
Darius is coming up with a plan very quickly. Darius runs into the cabin where Endien is staying. Presumably Endien's in there by herself. Very quickly bursts in and says, I'm gonna need you to look like a pirate. And Darius casts disguise self on himself to look like a sea ruffian of some sort.
Okay. She casts disguise self to look as Endien as a pirate.
Make your face
Endien
look
with an
different.
eye patch and
Honestly,
over
it'll probably work. Just go with me on it. And I'll
shirt and a tattered vest.
I'll take the ring out then and set it on the floor of this cabin, waiting for Thellum to come out. And just look at Endien and go, just go with it.
Yeah, almost as soon as you put it down on the floor. Poof,
Look at here. We were right. It's a magic ring.
R.
How big's the room?
It's like a I want to say like a 5x10 or something. No, I'll say it's a bigger room. It's like people sleep in like the same bedroom area. Everyone else is working, but you guys. So it's a bigger room. It's about 20x15.
20x15. Okay. Thellum will get scared and use that bubble thing.
Ooh. And then the force bubble pops out. So I think I said it was a 10-foot diameter. Just boop, knocks the pirates away from it with this force bubble, and you are in this thing. And you can, again, as I've said before, you have the feeling like if you're holding it, you can control it to go different directions.
Our captain, he's protecting himself. What do we do now?
Who are you? Where am I? He starts rolling around.
Oh, he's getting away, Captain.
This is what I don't even know exactly what lesson Darius was hoping for. But
let's hope this plan is not like any kind of foreshadowing for the rest of the mission.
No, this is just fun. Darius is going to drop disguise self, and then look at Thellum and go, "What did you think was going to happen to a ring if I wouldn't have caught it on the boat deck in the middle of a monsoon?"
What's a monsoon?
The giant ass storm you were just standing out there having a grand old time in.
Oh. Dude, what?
Thellum. The next time you want to go into your ring to talk to your magical patron, make sure you are in a safe position to do so, because anyone can go and pick up that ring, or it could have fallen to the bottom of the ocean.
He feels something when you said that. You can see it. Yeah, he has pupils. Yeah, you can see it on his face. I had to think about it. I was like, am I like Endien? No. You can see it. Like a little twitch. But he does nothing of it. But, oh. I didn't think about it like that.
Exactly. That's the issue. You like to jump in that ring whenever you have the minor inconvenience and don't think about what the outside situation is.
Oh. Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's all right. Do better in the future.
He has his head down and he rolls to his bed.
Not
You had to roll out of my room. Endien's still dressed like a pirate. Your bed's in a different room.
Okay, I guess with that, you guys find yourself kind of heading into a private dock on the back of you know where you see when coming in the main docks, but it seems as though Captain Gautier is swerving around the island, and you see these tall bluffs with a mansion on top. And as you're heading towards there, you see a secret cove that you are able to park your ship at. Dock your ship.
Which one is it? We park in the dock.
Pardock your ship here at the old cove, the cove dock, and everyone's getting ready. Everyone's setting things up. the captain comes up to you. I can lead you up from here. This is a private dock of the Dubois family, and I can lead you up through the caves to the manor. Go ahead.
No, I would just say, like, as we're getting off the ship, Darius would pull out his... Darius, sorry, I had a frog in my throat and then pressed my mute button too many times.
Oh no, let me out of here! Gunu comes crawling out.
Darius would pull out his cleansing stone and essentially hold it out to Thellum and Endien and say, we want to be presentable for the Dubois family. And he would activate it, and essentially all of his clothes and like all the salt spray and everything would just disappear from his clothing as he looks more presentable now.
When Thellum touches it, his shirt changes from beige to white.
I think
Must
so.
have spit up his drink. Yeah. Is this like a prestidigitation thing? Is that what's going on here?
Yeah, it's essentially a prestidigitation. It's
You son of a bitch! Oh my god!
Got him.
I was already dealing with enough sinus problems with a fucking energy drink down my nose.
Oh, fuck.
Like, I can feel it on the back. Just not.
Do you need a moment, sir?
Energy drink on my drying tablet. What a day, you know?
Oh my god. Oh,
Ugh. My only regret is I was muted because I had opened the drink, so you couldn't hear any of that from my end. Just a fucking spray, and the thing just boils over. My fucking god. What the fuck's happening on this stupid show?
Thellum's clean finally for once in his life.
Right.
His pants are still black.
Hold on. Gotta hopefully rinse out my sinus system from using my Morbius cup.
Get yours today or not.
He can't anymore.
Okay, yeah, you touch your fucking stone, you get clean. He gets clean. Endien, are you clean?
Yeah, I'm clean.
Alright, you're fucking clean. You guys go up this fucking cave. Did you say what happened, or did you just laugh? I don't know.
You just laughed the whole time.
Alright, as soon as Thellum said that, I was muted, and I just fucking sprayed the drink I was trying to drink all over, inside my own sinuses, all over everywhere. I set it down, it boils over, and fucking just energy drink everywhere. I am not
Drink
having a good time. All right.
We're being
You guys
led
head up
by
the cave
something.
system. You guys get up. You find this nice lavish manor, very well lit. A lot of like aerial lighting, not like like solarium type lighting. So that way it's like big rooms, very fancy, very well taken care of. Endien, you've probably seen places like this before. The rest of you, Thellum, you might have seen something like this in the movies. Darius, I don't know if you would or not.
I don't think Darius was ever in like this fancy of places.
Yeah. Either way, you make your way. There's attendants. They greet you, and the captain, and eventually they bring you into to some large oaken doors. There's a knock on it. It's like really very intricate woodwork. Something you'd see. You might think, like maybe like an elven lineage of people who do woodwork, like the very levels of intricacy and like interwoven like runes and text and imagery on these doors. You knock on these large doors, someone yells, "Come in," and you guys go inside and sorry, I'm still suffering. You guys get inside and there is a man sitting in a very comfy red chair with a book, and there's a fireplace, and he has you can tell he's a taller gentleman. He has a more like darker caramel type skin color, dark luscious hair, bright blue eyes. He is sitting there. He ushers you all in. An attendant shuts the door behind you guys. And he has several chairs, and he says to you, "Please, come in, sit down."
Yeah, Endien will walk over to you. She carries herself with more of a stride, like somebody who'd be wearing a long, flowing gown, but she's just wearing her adventuring clothes, so it's a strange stride in this, but just go over there and sit down.
Darius would take a chair as well.
Thellum would take his time, gawking at all the cool, shiny, fancy stuff, and then like he'll stumble onto his chair.
Yeah. Captain Gautier will, if that is all, I'll take my leave. Let me know if you need anything. And then she excuses herself, she leaves. And then, so Gillivan is sitting there with you guys, and he's got like a table, there's like maps on it, there's, writing instruments. Pleased to meet you all. My name is Gillivan Dubois. It is a pleasure to meet you. And I assume you are... And he looks at Thellum. Endien Vilviste?
Endien looks
No,
at
no,
Thellum
no,
like,
no,
answer.
My name is Thellum.
Oh, you're Thellum. Then he looks over towards Endien. Endien, I presume?
Yes, the honor is ours.
Yes, and Darius Crucibleborn.
Pleasure.
Of course. All right, I am happy to have you guys be here. As you've known from what I've said, they're having some issues with some raiding ships, attacking all of my mercantile ships. And what is the Dubois without their mercantile ships? Not a lot. And that is how we have raised through the ranks and are the second wealthiest family in all of Lazaret. What I would ask for you is to give me back my money, essentially. I know there's these pesky... I believe they're a group that they're referring to themselves as the zookeepers or something. A little gauche for my taste, but what's better to deal with a librarian than a librarian?
That is the thought, yes. Do you
Yes.
know of where they reside at all, or any leads on where to find them?
Unfortunately, most of our knowledge that we have come across to has to do with spotting, witness from the ships that keep coming and going, and also we get some kind of words from spying, searching, researching, looking around, speaking, getting what we can, of course. But it is getting late, and I think perhaps this is something better we can deal with in the morning. I have a meeting room that we can sit down with. I have some people who can be in attendance that might be able to give out more information here or there as necessary. I have rooms. You all are free to stay, of course. Also, just remember, I ask that you try to keep as low-key as possible about this. And I'm worried, and it's just between me and you three here, I have a good-for-nothing cousin who basically decided to run off and play games, and his mother, very short-sighted, I'm sure, decided to hire some librarians to go hunt down her son.
You don't say.
However, my problem with that is it seems as though that they never succeeded, and I think they're trying to get at me. They are hunting me down because they want to try and get me to get revenge to ransom out the money they never got for failing at their own quest. And I'm worried that I know it seemed like a lot of precautions to have you come in such a discreet, ugly boat, but, and to have to come in through the back way. But, of course, I need to take my precautions, and if it means roughing up my cravat, then perhaps it is necessary to do so.
While we are in this more intimate setting, I did want to... There was a certain lack of details on a final reward for returning from, in your words, a great amount of wealth. I understand there will be a daily payment, but...
Yes.
We can be very efficient, and as the second wealthiest family of these islands, I'm sure you would appreciate quick and well-done work.
Perhaps I'll give you a small finder's fee for returning as much as you can. I suppose. I had gotten word that on one of the, I'm trying to think of the word for list of things on a ship.
Manifest?
Yeah, okay. I heard word on one of the manifests that they got some creepy pendant. I'm sure maybe you guys would like it or something. I don't necessarily need that one back. So, I suppose a little bit of money, creepy pendant. You get your normal pay. It seems pretty nice for what is out there, I guess.
You'll forgive me. What were you thinking for that finder's fee? Just so we are clear on all the terms before we begin this work.
I don't know. What could a day of work cost?
A day of work saving the livelihood of your family sounds like it'd be worth quite a bit.
Right, that's we agreed. You'll get your pay of your 3 gold a day for your pay. I don't know. What do you? I suppose if there's any spare coins around, maybe for every bit more of treasure, perhaps. I'm trying to think of a small number that makes sense. 30 platinum.
What? I mean, I know Darius knows that that's both a large amount of money and a small amount of money for very rich people.
Yes.
Does Darius have any idea the scope of this family's business? Like, from a very practical sense of, like, how much cargo are they in, like, bringing in, putting out each day in the sense of, like, rough gold amounts?
Okay. Give me a history check.
It's going to be an 18.
Okay. You figure the Dubois family, because between the east coast of this side of the hemisphere and the west coast of the other side of the hemisphere, for whatever continents are there, you know that they primarily do a lot of this East Coast business up and down the entire planet. They haul in a lot of money. It's usually like not daily they bring in, but it's maybe like weekly. It can range anywhere from 300 platinum worth of wares to 300,000 platinum.
Okay.
Also, I'll say Endien is usually like right behind Darius, ready to stop him from squeezing too much money out of people they're helping. But with this one, she's fully leaning back in her chair, letting Darius do his work, and she even like raises her eyebrows with a, "You can get more out of this."
Darius. So, like, thinking about all of this, I think 30 platinum each is a very nice starting offer. However, just based off of...
Oh, each? I suppose we can do that.
Yes, we will be doing that. Again, I understand how important this business is to you, and the amount of cargo that you're bringing in on a weekly basis, and this has now been going on for several weeks, feels like it would be worth more to you than that to get your business back into order so that those profits can start coming in again.
Not to mention the addition of your own safety in this matter, as you brought up.
And the discretion that we'll be providing to this mission as well. And to boost that, Darius is going to cast a quick disguise self just to make him look like a regular old dude. We can be very discreet in what we do.
Who are you disguising? Sorry, I missed what you said. Who are you disguising?
Oh, just like a regular human ass.
Who are
dude.
you disguising?
Oh, myself, disguise self.
I was like, what?
Sorry.
You just said. Okay. I'm sorry, but did you think 30 platinum was cheap?
For the second richest family on the east side of this continent, yes.
I'm sorry, but I do need to reassess that. We had a pay that was already going to be incurred of 3 gold per day. This is a bonus that I'm willing to throw in on top of a creepy necklace. 30 platinum each, I suppose, for every chunk of my treasure you get back to me is, I'd say, more than gracious.
This may be me misunderstanding out of character.
Okay.
Is he offering like 30 platinum for like every X amount of gold that we bring back to him?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, it wouldn't change exactly what Darius is doing, but I don't know how Darius wants to proceed. Let's call it 35.
Give me a persuasion check.
Exactly what Darius is so good at. That's a natural one, motherfucker.
Let's call it a night, Mr. Crucibleborn.
Yes,
Certainly, Mr. Dubois. We can discuss this. We can discuss it more during the meeting with your associates.
Oh, Jennington, if you could lead them down to their rooms. There's no more further questions for the night?
No.
Okay. It's just, don't worry, it's pretty easy to find. First, you head down the hall, and then you turn right, and then you go off a little further around, and you will find your rooms to the left.
Cool. Darius would follow the servant out.
Yeah, he'll lead you to... there's 3 separate rooms that you're able to stay in. If there's nothing... Is there anything else you guys are doing for the night, or are you just kind of hunkering down waiting for the meeting for the morning?
I don't have any plans.
Yeah, I don't think Darius has anything else.
Thellum. Sleep. He will sleep.
Okay. All right. You guys hear the storms in the middle of the night, and it's more soothing, I'd say, probably. Just a nice white noise, even though you get some rough thunder that happens, but that's probably more soothing for Thellum. And morning wakes up. You guys get a wake up from Jennington, and he alerts you that breakfast is waiting in the dining hall if you'd like.
Yeah, Darius is taking advantage of as many of the amenities as possible.
Yeah, it's like it's like a feast, basically, in the morning. It is luxurious.
Full continental?
Full continental. You guys get your nice breakfast in. You have your war room meeting. You get in. There is, obviously, you see Gil Dubois. You see Captain Sophie Gautier. And you see another man who is a bit older looking, but is still like well dressed, and he is sitting there as well.
Darius would just not. Darius would have his armor on at this point. He wouldn't have his helm up, but would be in his full armor, mostly trying to project like, I mean fucking business about what the work we're doing for you here. Like, I'm not some schmuck that you've hired.
Yeah. Endien's got the black scale, serpent scale chain shirt with like leather padding on top that like separates, so there's looks like 3 pads on her shoulders, and then some over her chest. Has the king's sword with her.
And since you guys didn't
circlet, his shirt's beige again.
Darius just holds up. How did it become beige again? What do you do?
Thellum wasn't in the memo, so he's wearing the fluffy slippers that was provided to him, and his PJs.
Yeah. You guys get in the room.
It just has a waffle with him.
Just like munching on it.
You can tell there's like you can read on, you don't even need an insight for this. You can read on their faces that there's like a hint of like,
Yeah, as soon as someone walks in the room, and he's like, oh no. She knows what they're thinking already.
Darius,
well, they were thinking that before Thellum, even with both of you guys. So, of course, you can sit down if you'd like, where we can discuss things a little bit more matter-of-factly.
Yes. Take a seat.
Of course. A bit uncomfortable looking, it seems, but of course, that is your right to suit up as soon as you think possible. Oh, let me introduce to you. This is John Fetterton. He works for me, getting more in line with marketing to a degree, or should I say, more lines that he checks out the competitions and gets a little know-how on everything. John here has helped me tremendously with this issue. All right, what we know. Could you explain, just for John and Sophia here, could you explain in maybe a sentence what you do each? Like what your skill set is?
Archery. Endien is over it at this point.
I am a master craftsman and purveyor of magical items. Creator of magical items more than purveyor, and their use therein in dangerous situations. Darius braces for what Thellum is going to say.
Endien fully in her mind's like, I need to have elegance classes with Thellum before our next mission.
He has a bacon strip in his hand and he's chewing right now. He's waving that thing around. Listen, I know how to throw a punch. And lately, there's this genie.
Were you drunk this morning?
There's a genie who gave me power.
Sorry,
What?
bit of a frog in my throat. Very pointed glance as you bring up the genie to these strangers.
If he has things to say, we're more than happy to take his input.
Apologies.
Endien stares at Thellum. I mean, she stares at him from the corner of her eyes, which don't have pupils. So
no one will ever know where you're looking.
That. She is staring daggers at him, though.
But I know how to grow a turnip.
It sounds very valuable. And he looks to John and Sophia, and he turns back. All right. Well, I'd like to get better now to understand the situation. We don't know where they're holding up. And that is one of the main problems that we're having, is because it's hard to really find them without knowing where they are, unless it is when they're striking. And that, too, is the problem, is that we don't know when or if they're going to strike any individual ship. We are certain it is because they're after me, though. Because they are targeting specifically Dubois ships. We aren't the only seafaring industry in this area, even though we are the largest, but those ships go unattacked. They basically get on board, raid the place, and steal as much valuable as they can before leaving back to their ship. And then John speaks up. Yes, and with that, we know, through my contacts, we know that this raid, we don't think it's led by this Kellis Teal, but we do know that he seems to be an important aspect of their raid. He was seen around here months ago, asking questions about the geography and about the sea charts. Picked up some strange behavior for him. He disappeared for a bit, and then suddenly he was spotted back on the raid started before he came back, but he was recently spotted on one of their ships. So we know that he is somewhat involved. Doing background checks on him, it seems as though he is in league with an organization known as the Zookeepers. And that's exactly why we're sure that they're after us, because the Zookeepers want to be able to collect their Dubois fortune from us because of that terrible deal that they made, and they're taking it out on me. So what we know, we don't know who's captaining the ship for sure. It is something that we've not really noticed. We have noticed on the ship, we've gotten word of 2 very dangerous-looking knights. I'm not entirely sure what they meant by that, but they decided one was a very large knight, and the other was wearing a knight who wore not even full armor or something.
I know you're working with limited information about who exactly is perpetrating these crimes against you. Have you heard of any other a Sharuma or an Erica snooping around these islands either, in related to any of these or possibly connected to Kellis?
The 3 of them kind of look to each other and they give each other looks of I don't know what that is. No. I'm sorry. No, it doesn't sound familiar.
Just verifying, those are known associates of Kellis.
No, unfortunately, I think that's kind of where our information goes. Now we are trying to figure out what the next steps are now that we have you 3 in here.
Ooh, I know.
I would like to hear Thellum's idea before I pitch mine.
I've seen a movie like this before. So why don't we pretend to, well, not pretend. Why don't we try and get robbed? But we're us three are on the ship, and we robbed
what I was thinking.
And if Kellis is there, we can interrogate him.
I suppose if you guys are there with them, you'd be able to fight back easier. And if there's nothing valuable, they may not know that, and we have no loss if they do strike. We have only to gain.
Seems like you have a very capable marketing man with you. Set up a honeypot of sorts, and we're there to intercept.
Yes. What do you think, John? I suppose I could. Yeah, I'll start spreading word that you've got a big haul coming in. I suppose that works out for me.
A large ploy by a company that has had troubles trying to make one more effort to recoup losses. Should be a tasty target for these folks.
Captain Gautier. All right, I'll start setting up the ship, and we can launch this evening if you'd wish, or tomorrow. I suppose I don't know how long John's gonna need to deal with this. Let's wait until tomorrow. Let's do it There's no reason to rush into this if we know we're going to win. Let us wait for tomorrow. Give John plenty of time to get his information straight.
Whatever you need to do.
All right. So then, with you three, I suppose we don't need you to meet again until tomorrow midday, we'll say, and we can figure things out. Until then, feel free to enjoy the rest of your evening here. I know it's wet season, so it's hard to really get the sights in without getting a little wet, but there's still plenty to behold even here in the manor.
Thank you. Appreciate your hospitality.
The three of them set out to scatter, I guess.
Yeah, as they're leaving, or as we were leaving and walking down the hall to whatever we're off to next, Endien will just say, I understand why Silas ran away now.
Pompous ass sons of bitches.
Wait, do we know of your old team?
Yeah, she's brought him up before.
Oh, okay.
But she will, at this point, I'll say, also don't bring up anything about Silas around anybody here, please. I'd rather they not know our affiliation, because they seem to have a disdain towards him.
I don't plan on telling them anything more than strictly necessary for our job here.
I'm very proud of your scenario, your solution that you came up with. Good work.
Huh?
But we must be more presentable when meeting with these people. They are surface level only, and we're only about appearances.
But
as she waves her hand through the illusion of the disguised self.
But this is the only shirt I own.
Yes, but let's not be in our pajamas and eating breakfast still while in a meeting.
It's really good bacon.
I understand that, but we can have more later. We don't need to have it during a meeting.
He scarfs it down.
I think at the end of the day, we can end that episode.
Whoa!
We're good. We're good to go.
Oh, no.
Moving forward. Yeah. Okay. Everybody, if you would like to keep up with the news of me, you can hit me up on the Twitter at Bumblescum, that's with a K, or you can figure out the news that goes on with the IDL at IDL_RPGS. If you would like to try and rob the rich, you can talk to Adam at Little Growth. If you would like to play dress up, you can talk to BakaZombie at Zombie Baka. and it's a little bit of a rough waters, low visibility. You can't see or be near Kyle. Go away.
And his name is John Cena. See you later.
Okay.